Okay, so far we've talked about God's story of salvation using the 4 G's: good, guilt, grace, and gratitude. We've also talked about the Gospels in the New Testament, stories about Jesus and what he has done, how he's come to fulfill, how he's come to serve and give his life, how he's come to seek out and save the lost, and how he's come to give us full life, abundant life. Now the question is, after he has died, rose again, and ascended into heaven, the question is, now what? What are we, his followers, supposed to do? And there are 2 different passages to look up there. We get an idea. I'd like you to look up Matthew 28, 16 through 20. Matthew 28, 16 through 20. It's at the very end of the gospel. So look that up and pause. All right. Matthew 28, 16 through 20, Jesus, who has been raised from the dead, meets his disciples on a mountaintop, and they gather around him, and this is what happened. I'm going to read it here. Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee. They went to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some still had their doubts. Then Jesus came to them. He said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. So you must go and make disciples of all nations. Baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Teach them to obey everything I have commanded you. And you can be sure I am always with you, even to the end of the age." So Jesus is saying that we should go and make disciples. Disciples are like students of the teacher. Disciples, that's where we also get the word discipline, where you follow a discipline. Jesus is our teacher. He is our coach who tells us how to live the best life possible. And that means we are his disciples and we make more disciples. You are in Catechism so that you can become a disciple. And also the other important thing to know is that Jesus says he is always with us. We are not alone. Whatever happens now, he is with us. Now there's one more passage for you to read. It's Acts chapter 1, verse 8. All right? Look that up, pause, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, this is from the book of Acts. Acts is a whole story about the early church, right after Jesus has ascended into heaven. You learn about all of his followers and how they spread the word. It's really exciting stuff. And right before they're about to get going, Jesus says to them before he ascends to heaven in Acts 1:8, "You will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. Then you will tell people about me in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria, and you will even tell other people about me from one end of the earth to the other." Jerusalem and where Jesus lived in Galilee, it's on the other side of the world. But sooner or later, as time went on, people brought the word about Jesus all around the world, even to Swanton, Ohio, even to northwestern Ohio, and that's how we know about it now. And that happens because God sends the Holy Spirit, the Spirit that empowers us to spread the news and to live as Jesus did. Now, ultimately, what this really means is that we have a job to do. We are to make disciples, and we are also to spread the news with the Holy Spirit. That's the next part of the New Testament. We're going to talk about more right after this.